Namaste. So this is part 2 of the series Ye Are Gods. Ye are gods. Is it not written in your scriptures, I have said, ye are gods? It's Jesus Christ, and it wasn't the first time that he said it either. It was mentioned by Yahweh in the Old Testament, the Bible. But not just that, we're talking about there's so many different great teachers and masters who have said, you are gods. You are co-creating gods. Okay, so let me just define this. So for you to be God, you would have to be everything all at once in the most undistorted aspects as a part of everything. Okay, so clearly we're not that right now and here in this particular incarnation, but you are a co-creating aspect of the Godhead. But the paradox is, because you are a part of the whole, it makes you equal to the whole. Now think about this. How does a hologram work? How does a fractal work? We now know that we are living in a fractal-based holographic type of a illusion. This universe is one of many octaves, one of many illusions that we come in, we densify, we project out, and we project out, and we project out. There's many, many, many different facets, many different expressions, and we keep densifying and projecting out and densifying and projecting out and densifying. And we do this on a descent or a separation cycle or a descension cycle. Okay? We densify and densify and densify. We lower in vibration and lower in vibration and lower in vibration and lower in vibration. So we started off with the Godhead, all of us, and then we projected out to the what with the 12 density of consciousness system you would call them the universal God selves. Okay, the universal God selves then projected out into the individualized God selves in the 11th density. In the 10th density, sorry. And then the individualized God selves then projected out into the monads. The monad is your Master Oversoul. It is also the metaphysical central sun of each galaxy. Now, don't forget how many galaxies there are in our octave of experience, in our universe. There's been estimated to be at least hundreds of billions of galaxies, maybe trillions. From what I've been shown, it's more like trillions. That's trillions of monads. That's trillions of central suns. You see, the central sun is what we would think of as the black hole, the supermassive black hole. In other words, the super gravitational mass star, the central sun, at the core, at the nuclei of every single universe. It's the great rotator that partly makes the universe rotate, gives the universe the mass, the central gravitational pivot, whatever you want to call it, to the great rotator to rotate the galaxies around. Some rotate clockwise, some rotate anti-clockwise. Okay, so there are trillions, potentially trillions of these great central suns in each universe. That means trillions of monads. So can you imagine how many souls come out of that monad? Well, what we do is we times it by 12. So the first projections would be 12 times 12, which is 144. You see, the universal God Self would project out. And I've been shown that there were many universal God Selves that projected out from the Godhead. Okay, there could have been 12. Let's say there's 12. That would be the first 12. But then when they divide into 12, when each one of those 12 projections are units of individualized consciousness, when each one of those units of individualized consciousness then project out into 12 more each, that comes to 144. Okay, so there's 144 projections, but then those 144 projections, each individualized unit of consciousness projects out into 12. And then each time you times it by 12. Okay, so each total you times by 12. So we'll go from 144 to 1,728 units of individualized consciousness. And then we project those out to another 12. So times that by 12, 20,736 units of individualized consciousness. So you keep timesing this, it goes to 248,832 units of individualized consciousness. And then they project out again into 12, so times that by 12, 2,985,984 units of individualized consciousness. Then they project out again, which totals to 35,831,808 units of individualized consciousness. They project out again into 12, totals to 429,981,698 units of individualized consciousness. This then projects out again, which would then become, it's a third density, using the 12 density system, to a total of 5,159,780,352 units of individualized consciousness. Now, you might be thinking and saying to yourself, but there's almost 10 billion souls, or soul aspects, or soul projections of individualized units of consciousness on planet Earth right now, in humanity. And you'd be right in saying that. Now, where did the extra souls come from? Okay, so first of all, don't forget that I said at the beginning of this video that there isn't just one projection from the Godhead. There are many. There are many hundreds of billions, if not trillions, of monads. The monad being the 9th density Master Oversoul, and the metaphysical central sun at the core, the nuclei of every single galaxy in the universe, in our octave of experience. It isn't just one monad's projections of soul aspects that have come to this planet. There are projections from monads in other galaxies projecting into our planet right now. So there are many, many starseeds. In essence, we're all starseeds. We're all wanderers. We're all starseeds in many ways. Because we all came from, ultimately, from the source. So we are all visitors here. And we don't stay here forever either. You know, we might stay here for a few billion years, but that's a tiny blip on our scale of eternity, infinity. Tiny, tiny blip. So, some people say that there are NPCs. That's for a different video. We will talk about that. You might have heard of the non-player characters, NPCs, non-player characters. Some people say that there are only 5 billion souls here who are true souls, and that the other 4.8 odd billion human aspects that are projected onto the earth right now are just mind-body complexes. I have been shown that this is also true, that there are some purely mind-body complexes. But that's for another video. To keep things simple, it might be easier just to look at this as the truth, which is that there are many monads from other galaxies who are projecting some of their soul aspects onto the earth right now. And likewise, some of our monads, some of yours and my monads are also projecting soul aspects into other galaxies. Don't forget, we're multidimensional beings. There are very few limits, and the only limits that really exist are the limits that we impose on ourselves. I'm going to say that again. The only true limit that really exists is the limit that you impose on yourself. You are unlimited. We're just very conditioned, and we're trying to break out of lots and lots of negative programming. Okay, so that's probably going to do for that video. There's going to be a part 3, and there's going to be a part 4. There might even be 5 parts to this series. But I hope that gives you some more food for thought, and just some conception of how these soul aspects divide out into 12, and then each one of those 12 divides out into another 12. So this keeps multiplying and multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. That's how there are so many soul aspects coming out of every single monad or Master Oversoul. I'm going to do some drawings. I've got some drawings at the ready for video 3. And I'm going to go into this in a bit more detail using some illustrations so that you can visualize this better. And then hopefully this is going to be a bit more clear. I'm not the best at drawing, and I'm not the best at maths, and it's incredibly difficult for me to even hold a pen at the moment. It's incredibly difficult for me to hold this phone at the moment, let alone a pen. So please bear with me, but we will do this, and I'll do the best job that I can in illustrating to you just how this works, just how these souls project out, and then project out again, and then project out again. And this is the story of how your soul aspects that I'm speaking to now, that is watching this video, came to be projected to this earth right now from ultimately your God self. Okay, namaste.